right now, we're about to get started for Formula One in 2025, and it's wet here in Melbourne, very wet. Been raining all morning. The F2 feature race was cancelled. We are hoping it clears so we can get going for the first Grand Prix of 2025.
They'll just be told you must not run into each other. Oh, we've got somebody off already.
We have already one of the racing bulls, and that is Isaac Hadja, who looks like he's trying to get the car into gear at the very least.
Got a broken rear wing, I think.
He has. Look at the angle of that rear wing.
It's almost certainly going to delay the start, isn't it?
Right, so he backed off to then floor it to put some heat into his tyres, and this is not a day to be doing that.
He was a bit unlucky there. Sort of anti-locked on him, and it just lit the rear up, didn't it?
And the 75th anniversary season of Formula One. It's lights out and away we go, and it's Lando Norris tiptoeing away from the start. Max Verstappen getting very keen with a pole sitter. Into turn one we go. Norris is ahead of Piastri. Verstappen following on. Then comes George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who looks like he has Alex Albon for company, trying to go around the outside, and Albon stays ahead of Hamilton. Into turn three we go. Look how Oscar Piastri gets a better getaway than Lando Norris, but Max Verstappen behind them, he's finding all sorts of grip off the line, and Lando quickly having to defend.
Yeah, as they went into second and third gears, then they clearly were spinning their wheels again at McLaren, and this is where Max took second place. Oscar was really struggling for traction through turn two. Max drove clean around the outside of him. Bold, but successful.
Yuki Tsunoda got a little bit swallowed up right there into turn three by Charles Leclerc. I think Lewis Hamilton was a bit compromised trying to battle his Ferrari teammate at the start. This is how Max Verstappen got away, and what a getaway.
Ticking over almost, wasn't he? Had no revs on at all, and Lando saw that one coming and was pretty feisty about it. There's a statement from him for this season, and this is where the back of the McLaren started sliding, and Max...
And there out is the race is Jack Doohan, one of the Australian Grand Prix, and another rookie coming to grief in the early stages here. Safety car's been deployed. Doohan's okay. That's firstly the best news, but he's out. He's behind the Aston Martin.
That would have shocked him that happened. So it's very similar to Hadjar. He was unsighted in the spray. Yeah. And he would have been in that car looking at it like he was watching somebody else having an accident. He would have been so surprised that it would go round like that.
Oh, and there's a Williams. Carlos Sainz, last year's race winner, is also in the wall. Final corner, turn 14. Is that under safety car conditions? It must be. Carlos Sainz has dropped it.
Yeah.
At turn 14.
Yeah.
Here he is behind the Alpine of Pierre Gasly. Oh dear. You said it, you called it, Martin. Greasy. Yeah. Slippy.
It's on the racing line, you see. So what happens is... Right, so again, he'll be another driver go, what?
I had like a massive torque surge.
And he wanted some tyre temperature before he got there.
And Max Verstappen is right on his tail here, barreling down the main straight. You can't overtake until the line. There's the line now. Here comes Verstappen at Norris. Piastri, a little bit of drift. Then comes George Russell into turn one. Norris survives that. Charles Leclerc keeps his position in fifth, ahead of Yuki Tsunoda under pressure from Alex Albon. And now the run towards turn three, and Norris is starting to eke out a gap. Oh, and that is what happens when you can't produce the accuracy. And Kimi Antonelli, from earlier on in this race.
So he did what George did in pre-practice and stuck his right rear wheel on the grass.
Verstappen there gets on the curve, and that might give Piastri just a little bit more incentive as well, because he's got the DRS and he's just a fraction too far back. But Verstappen's gone too deep into the gravel, didn't go down the escape road. That made the overtake very easy for Piastri. Their anxious faces of the Australian fans, they'll turn into cheers in a moment when they see their man is up to second. All right, let's have a look from Max Verstappen's perspective. Under braking, just a fraction too deep, And yeah, it was water in the curb. Looked like gravel he was throwing up, but sploshing through the puddles, and it was just a lock-up front left, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's unusual to do you normally do the inside tyre, but he put a bit of steering lock on and it wouldn't turn.
I think that wing change that they put on his car in Parc Ferme, Crofty.
Oh, Ted, Fernando Alonso spinning round and hitting the wall. You can see him there, coming to grief, Fernando Alonso, just out of turn 7, and that's going to be at least a safety car. So through turn 5 and 6, and he got on the curb, and that was the end of that.
He didn't hit the wall as hard as I thought he might. Crashed it going off there. So, yeah, he would have been surprised by that as well, you know, because he wasn't off the track. It just touched the gravel, didn't it? Just loosened the car off.
We're now on slick tyres and we're racing to the checkered flag once again. Lando Norris has done very well here to put a big gap between himself and Oscar Piastri. Verstappen is coming at the Australian, then comes George Russell and Charles Leclerc. Yuki Tsunoda on the mediums, as is Alex Albon. Hamilton in 8th ahead of Gasly, and Antonelli on his debut for Mercedes, who's up into the points after Alonso's crack.
Seems like it'll be next lap now. We don't want to jump too early. Class half in pit lane.
Here goes Charles Leclerc down the inside. Tsunoda's seen that coming a mile off and going out to the gravel. And Lando Norris stays in the lead. Oscar Piastri comes back on in second and slides off into the grass. Verstappen takes second place, and Oscar Piastri, spinning his rear wheels, could be out of his home Grand Prix. It's treacherously wet down in that final sector, and he's come a cropper. Oscar Piastri could be out. Verstappen now leads as Lando Norris pits. Russell pits. Hamilton goes through. Gasly goes through, and they managed to get Lando Norris out.
This is where they suddenly came across 3 corners from home, and they both went off the road. Lando hoovered it up. Oscar had gone further off the road, and that's what put him in that position. And this is the bit where he tried to go forward initially. Yeah, so they both hit the rain shower at the same time. Just a different angle they turned up in the penultimate corner.
It's Leclerc behind Tsunoda when they were racing, and that is how Leclerc lost those places.
So how much time did Verstappen lose on that lap? We'll find out when he feeds back in. Will he be ahead of the McLaren? No, he won't.
No, he won't. Lando is now coming round turn 14, Martin. Lewis Hamilton will move into the lead on his debut for Ferrari. Hamilton stays on the slick tyre. Leclerc stays on the slick. Norris on the intermediates goes through. Tsunoda on the mediums goes through. There they are. Verstappen will come out in 5th ahead of George Russell. Bortoletto's gone into the barriers, as has Liam Lawson. Lawson at turn 2. Bortoletto at turn 13. Hulkenberg up to 7th. Here's his teammate Gabriel Bortoletto. That's how he lost it.
Yeah, it's the same. It's sort of the rookie spin, isn't it? It's light the back up. You get a torque. You get some torque, and it anti-locks. That actually, hang on a minute.
Did that right rear come
Did that
loose
break?
before? Yeah.
Did that break and send him off? Has he had a? You'd have to say that actually. Oh, that's exactly what happened to Hadjar, isn't it?
It is.
Before the start. Exactly what happened to him.
I tell you what, he very nearly collected Nico Hulkenberg there as well. Did Liam Lawson. We've lost Doohan, we lost Hadjar, we've lost Bortoletto, and we've lost Lawson. Hamilton's into the pits. Verstappen takes over in 2nd, Russell 3rd. So it's intermediate tyres on now for Lewis Hamilton. He is going to go to the back of the pack.
It's a horrible loss because the crocodile behind the safety car was... that's a gamble that has not worked for Ferrari in this part of the Grand Prix anyway.
So he said it wasn't going to rain much. Just missed a big opportunity there.
Understood.
What position am I now? Back in
P9.
9 again.
While he's putting his foot down, Max Verstappen behind him is navigating the final turn, and Norris has got them underway, and we're racing to the checkered flag. Norris into turn 1, ahead of Verstappen, ahead of Russell. Then comes Alex Albon. Oh, and that looked tricky. This was the Ferrari swapping places. Lewis Hamilton once again getting a bit compromised going into turn 1, this time behind the Alpine, and Charles Leclerc picking up that one and just brushing the front wing as he moved past and up into 9th place. He said, didn't he, Lando Norris, I learned a lot last year. I know what I need to do to beat Max Verstappen, and I'm sure keeping calm in the pressure cooker situation of leading a race with half a lap to go and Max on your tail was very much on his shopping list and things to tick off. And so far it's looking so good for Lando Norris. He has got another overtaking opportunity here to survive, and he does. Verstappen is there, and he is close by, and he's going to be pushing and using everything at his disposal to try and make a move down into turn 11. Norris in the lead, DRS slam shot on Verstappen's Red Bull. It's a 5-second penalty for Kimi Antonelli. That's going to cost him at least 1 place at the end of this race, because he's got past Alex Albon and up into 4th. But out in front, Lando Norris now sees the crowd standing for him. The Australian Grand Prix is going to be win number 1 in 2025 for Lando Norris. He picks up where he left off in Abu Dhabi. Norris wins, Verstappen second. What a thrilling race. George Russell comes home to finish on the podium ahead of his teammate Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli gets a 5-second penalty and will be classified behind Alex Albon.
Well done, mate. Well done. P1. Great job.
Oof. A little bit of pressure. Well done, boys. Beautifully handled. Executed to the second, 1 second later, and we were done. So well done, everyone. Congrats. Amazing way to start the year. Thank you so much.
Watch this. Here we go. He's got the DRS. Ducks to the right. Lewis tries to squeeze him to the wall. Piastri's having none of that.
Nice.
Lewis won't enjoy watching that.
That was very nice indeed. It's champagne time in Formula One, and Lando Norris receives that from his peers on the podium. We are off and running in 2025, and it's Lando Norris slamming the bubbly on the floor, who's gone and taken our first win.